Another AriasWave video about Bitcoin. This is Mike, and at the moment we are basically looking at the short trade, which basically hasn't moved a hell of a lot. To be honest, since I placed the trade, I have taken profits a couple of times, but it's just getting to the point now where it's like, well, are you trying to create a bottom here? Are you trying to do a double bottom? Are you trying to do this? Are you trying to do that? Look, I use only the waves to understand what the deal is. Okay, so this is why I'm offering it. AriasWave, you can learn it for free. All you do is sign up to a couple of different, crypto exchanges you may not be used to. There's a Phemex and MEXC, two different ones that I'm currently partnered with. And look, this at the moment, it looks like a corrective structure. I've relabeled it because obviously the pattern has progressed. I don't really try to trade corrective patterns because it's just very complex. Sometimes you can trade zigzag patterns. Like for example, this move that went up here when the Trump announcement happened. I mean, it was just a very strange thing to happen, and for a retracement to go this long, it's definitely not usual. But I must admit, though, it's not the first time that Bitcoin has done this sort of large, deep retracement before the beginning of a major move. So if we want to just go back to the 4-hour chart for a minute, if you go back to a time not long ago, down here, all right, in September 2023, we created a wave 1 and basically produced a 99% retracement. It was literally a really sharp and deep retracement, but it never actually made a new low. I wouldn't be able to classify it as a wave 2 if it did. So interestingly enough, it's pretty cool how that happened, right? And it really just illustrates that we do have some reference points on the chart that can sort of provide these type of clues. And to be honest, when you have something as volatile as Bitcoin, crypto in general is pretty volatile, then these things tend to happen. Look, it probably isn't as common in other markets like Forex and the stock market, but look, it can happen on any chart, to be honest. So the bigger picture here, look, I've gone back and forth a couple of times with the exact wave count here, but look, I would say that this was a weak 5-wave move leading up to the situation we're in now. So I believe we did have a zigzag wave 1, a wave 2, a large zigzag wave 3 with a A-B pattern here, C, D, E, and then followed by a wave 5 zigzag, right? So there's your 5 waves, and then the way that I've changed this count, the correction, the only way that I can really say that it makes sense is this way here. A, B, C, D, E, right? It's a fairly clear setup, right? This is why I maintain the bearish stance, because of these things that I've been mentioning in this video, right? We do see evidence of a continuation to the downside. It's not really just me parroting, trying to promote crypto exchanges, right? It's not really about that. It's just, it's just the pattern itself. It sticks out so much that I can't really change it at this point. If we do break through that part there's something really wrong with this analysis, because why would you create such a drawn out wave 1 with a fairly shallow correction due to, I don't know, a lot of jawboning from Mr. Trump? And this type of thing here, it just looks like a really good setup. It was a very easy entry, which was interesting in itself. But easy entries can typically come with large, deep retracements. So therefore, I suppose we just have to keep an eye out. The trend seems to be down. We're underneath the 1,000 period moving average on the 1 hour chart. I can't really see any reason why this count wouldn't work unless we obviously crack through 84,715. I cannot see any reason why it would, but if it did, I would probably take a break from analysis for a bit to really just wait and see what the hell is going on. But I really, look, at this point, I don't have anything else apart from that, right? So yes, it's been a bit of a bastard. It's been a bit of a wait, but in due time, we will see this thing probably start to decline. Now, I want to talk about the larger pattern quickly while we're here, which to me, I've been doing a lot of work behind the scenes on understanding the major pattern, the larger pattern. So I'm also going to post another video after this if this one actually works, because I'm posting it as a private video onto YouTube, and basically this count is, I believe, incorrect. This was not a full wave 4, this was a zigzag wave A. So what I'll do is I'll quickly switch to the BLX chart where I have all this very clearly labeled, right? And so therefore I've just been doing, I actually tried to record this video before and I kind of messed it up. Actually, it wasn't my fault, it was YouTube. It didn't want to process the video for some reason, so I had to delete it. Anyway, so the point is that yes, we had a wave A zigzag, and this is an expanded B wave that we're seeing here, right? So basically what that means is that, okay, you had your first part of a wave B zigzag. So normally a zigzag looks like this, yeah? A, B, C, D, E, zigzag, right? But sometimes they can expand, right? This is it's one of the expanded types, right? The COVID situation really expanded the D wave in this zigzag. So we had obviously the first 5 waves, and then you had once again another zigzag wave A, same as this, just here, just a little bit smaller, right? So let's just look at that, and then you had basically an expanded B wave zigzag, right? And it was actually a type 2 because the wave E ended far above the beginning of the first move. So, another expansion, let's just label it like that. And then the C wave was tiny. The C wave was actually tiny, right? So that there was just a tiny C wave, right? Let's just make it look like this. And then basically you had the huge wave D, right? Pretty huge wave D, right? So what comes next after this bubble busts? Well, if it's not a type 2, it'll probably come back to the start of wave A in parentheses, right? So that can happen. It doesn't need to happen, but there's a big possibility that it might, right? Now, the length of this A wave is this here. So that could be a potential target as well. That would be down to 25,000. If we go down to the end of wave A, that's pretty low. It's like 13,720 roughly, and everything in between, right? There's no real telling how that will go. It's just all about paying attention to the structure as it unfolds. So in this particular case, I can definitely see this pattern bouncing afterwards to create a new all-time high. If basically what happens is we get a deeper, a longer than this one move, then, well, the C wave's going to be longer. It's just going to be longer in general. So it could get to the point where people think that this is getting really bullish, looking like a wave 3, and then it basically psychs everyone out. So I do see that sort of thing happening. I think that there is a lot of risky. It's a big risk to get into crypto, especially if you're Michael Saylor. But anyway, I digress. Hopefully this video has given you a little bit of an update. At the moment, this is where it stands. Please do me a favor, learn yourself the waves, do yourself a favor, and also sign up to those crypto exchanges, whichever one you want, on the website. Check it out, ariaswave.com, and I'll talk to you soon.